Can you buy fun Nintendo Switch games for $5 or less? That's the question I'll be answering today. And the answer, by the way, spoiler alert, is yes. I've been reviewing games on the eShop now for years. And over the last decade, I have found dozens of these really affordable games that are always $5 or less that'll bring you so much enjoyment. But what's better than a $5 game than a free game? Or even a free Nintendo Switch 2. I'm giving away a free Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm also giving you $15 to go and buy whatever video games or anything else that you want. And here is how. You gotta click the link in the description below and sign up for Whatnot. By doing that, you'll also get free $15 of credit to spend on whatever you want in the app. Then come back here and you can enter the giveaway for free just by commenting below your Whatnot username. That's it. Then you can win this free signed Nintendo Switch 2. And if you want to double your chances of winning, all you gotta do is spend that free $15 of credit in the app. So, I mean, that's a win-win. I've been messing around with Whatnot a lot.
Wood taking that down. Congratulations to Wood.
And it's not just video games. There's Pokemon cards, all kinds of trading cards, collectibles, electronics, I mean, you name it. And the app's actually really cool. I've never used it before, but it's a live streaming app that's also an auction app. So I went on there and I found this guy, Skylar, and I bought so much from him. I got this red DS Lite for only $20. I got a copy of Mario Party 4 for $10, a $30 pair of blue and yellow Joy-Cons, Zelda collectible for $14, $5. I bought this cute little thing for Kim. I don't know what it is, but it was only $5. And that's what I really fell in love with the app. There's not like tons of people bidding on this stuff. Click that link down below, get your $15, buy whatever you want, come back here, leave your name down below, win a Nintendo Switch 2, and the winner will be announced a month from now. And you do have to be located in the US to win the giveaway. So Merry Christmas, enjoy your $15, hopefully you win a Switch 2, and let's get back to these $5 bargain games. So I couldn't think of a better way to wrap this year up and give people who just bought a new Nintendo Switch 2 or are looking for games around the holiday season, not only a video to help you find some affordable stocking stuffers that you can just grab right now without having too much to think about, but treating this as a look back at my channel, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about. And I know nobody loves a clip show, but what makes for a better clip show than one that shows you great games you've probably never heard of? So this is about 20 of the eShop's best games that are $5 and under. Also, I'm gonna do the clips in no particular order, and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. TOREE 2 is a budget, fast-paced platformer, and I honestly can't believe it's only $1 on the eShop. I mean, what you see is what you get, but there's actually a decent amount of content here. 9 levels, each with unique elements and challenges. You can either go for a breezy playthrough or try to beat all the time challenges or collect all the Carl's Jr. looking stars to get the full completionist rating. TOREE 2 has this nice late 90s low poly throwback aesthetic, and it feels similar to a Sonic game with its flow focused levels. I enjoyed blasting around the levels of TOREE 2 so much, I went ahead and picked up TOREE 3D. It's another $1 smash hit. This one feels more like an old school platformer. In fact, to be exact, it gives me some serious Croc vibes. You have full control over the camera and it's much slower paced, but way more platformer focused. These hexagonal platforms and even the sound TOREE is making when he jumps is just making me want to boot up Windows 95 and save some gobos. I think it's safe to say these two TOREE games are the best $1 games on the console, but hey, I only know about them because someone on Twitter told me, so maybe there is more. I debated putting this Konami game on the list, well, mostly because I suck at it, but for only $1, you'd have a hard time arguing this isn't worth its price, even if it is baseball. It's called Baseball Power Pros, and it actually has an impressive amount going for it. From competitive online tournaments and battles complete with a ranking system, character customization, offline versus modes. I was surprised to even find messages when I logged in talking about in-game tournaments and bug fixes. this game's still getting continued support for only $1. It's a pretty simple to play, but really hard to master kind of game. Or, you know, hard to be good at all in my case. I tried a few online games and got absolutely destroyed. I mean, I couldn't hit a ball and they would just keep striking on me over and over and over. It was humiliating, but I could tell it's because I'm just, you know, bad at it. I tried to escape to the safety of offline modes, but good lord, I guess I just don't understand baseball. But it is actually a good little baseball game, and I'm legitimately shocked it's only $1. I can't remember the last time we had a game on these lists that were worth it for $1.
SquidLit is $2. It's like a McDouble. Or you could be smart and buy a video game. In SquidLit, you play as a squid, and that's pretty lit. I'll show myself out. This little indie platformer attempts to recapture the look, sound, and feel of the original Game Boy, and it nails it perfectly in my opinion. Even down to the charming border around the gameplay that blasts doots while you play. You have a double jump that also acts as your attack as you ink the enemies below you. You'll find a lot of platforming and exploration here as well, and NPCs to talk to, and even the occasional dialogue choice. The gameplay shakes up from time to time with boss battles ranging from mid-air shooter battles to a magic book that you have to jump inside of mid-battle to ink out the words inside. For its price, SquidLit offers a quaint, polished little adventure with some unique concepts. Well, all that sounds great, but what's the catch, you might be asking? Well, you can finish the entire game in like 30 minutes and it presents little to no challenge whatsoever, but forget about that because you can buy the game for the same price as 2 Frosties at Wendy's. And look at this little guy. Aw, so cute. Downwell. Am I pointing to it? Yeah, there it is, Downwell. By far one of the cheapest games on any of my eShop lists at just $2.99. Downwell is absolutely worth the price and then some. The entire game has you falling down a well, but you're falling in style. Just like Bayonetta, you have gun boots that pack a huge punch that keep you afloat for just a moment while you blast away at any enemies or bricks directly below you. Downwell is so simple in design, from its 8-bit visuals to its gameplay mechanics, but its fast-paced action is hard to put down, making it a perfect pick up and play a few rounds kind of game, which is exactly what you want on the Switch. The further down into the dark well you fall, the harder and weirder the enemies become. In classic Mario style, you're able to head stomp on most of the enemies, which gives you a satisfying amount of recovery time which you can use to plan your next move, but not all enemies will appreciate being stepped on. And with only 4 hit points, you don't want to make any mistakes. You fall at such insane speeds, you only have a split-second moment to decide if you should squash, dodge, or shoot your way through the next obstacle. You will find more than you expect in the world, from shops where you can buy helpful items or hidden caves filled with relics. And after every stage, you get to pick a power-up, or if you're lucky, get some health back since your hit points carry over level to level. This game is not easy. It took me more attempts than I would like to admit just to get to the 4th level, so bring your A game or prepare to go down. Get it? Like down well, like cause you're falling down the well. The game's just a few dollars. Try it out. Suika Game seemed to take the internet by storm a few months ago, and I would honestly be surprised if anybody watching this hasn't at least heard of the watermelon game. But I'm pretty sure many of you, like me at one point, looked at this gameplay footage and went, really? But yeah, I hate to admit it, it's pretty fun. For only $2.99, this might be the cheapest game ever in my eShop series, and it's one that Kim and I spent countless hours playing together. It was actually really sweet. We would just play on one console and pass it back and forward in between rounds. Whenever one of us would lose, we'd hand it off and we'd just try and compete for the highest score and get so excited for each other if one of us got a watermelon. It's obviously a puzzle game. You drop fruits into a container and you can't have them overflow out or it's game over. And that is much easier than it sounds, because when you combine these fruits, they often come together in a big sudden pop, and because it's all momentum and physics based, it can blow some of the fruits out of the container. It's shockingly addictive trying to manage the placement of fruit and organizing where everything is put to more efficiently build towards hopefully maybe getting that watermelon, which by the way, getting the watermelon is not the end goal, it's just very hard to do. The actual end goal is just to get the
largest score possible. There isn't even a way to wipe the screen or get rid of any of the fruit. So eventually you will just run out of space. But it always feels like you can do better if you just try one more time. There's an online leaderboard, which is the reason why the game demands to always be online. Makes no sense. And recently they even added paid DLC, which introduces competitive modes as well as time limit and attack multiplayer modes. Some people were really upset that it was paid DLC. The base game's $3 and the paid DLC is $2. I mean, come on, you want them to work for free?
This next game might be the best value for money on the list, and that is Kamiko. Even though it's a short game, it's a great game. It'll remind you of Legend of Zelda on the NES in so many ways, and definitely, obviously, the art style being the main way, but the gameplay is definitely very different to Zelda. It has a really great little story to it. It's just a lot of fun. It'll probably be one of the most fun games you spend $5 on. Again, even though it's short, about 5 hours long, you can't say no to $5. It's a great looking game and it's really fun to play. It's a little easy, but $5 is $5. Next, we have a game called Infinite Golf. Yes, I'm putting a golf game on this list. Wow, I'm really hitting some new ground today. I've never reviewed a golf game either. But no, seriously, this game is really fun. It's in the title too, Infinite Golf. There is an infinite amount of golf courses. It even has a course maker where you can make and download your own courses. So there's unlimited creations in this thing, which is one part that makes this game definitely worth it because of replayability. Here comes the money. Here we go. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. So imagine Mario Maker meets golf. It's essentially what this game is. So there's a lot to this game other than just a golf game. It's enjoyable to play. You have a bunch of different options, a bunch of different levels, infinite fun. Check it out. It's golf, but it's fun. Gunman Clive released recently on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and if you missed these games back on the 3DS, you have to play them now, especially for the price. $3.99 for both the first and the second game? I honestly think that makes this game the best, cheapest game on the Switch. So if you haven't seen or played Gunman Clive before, the first thing that should be going through your brain right now while you look at this footage is, oh boy, that art style is incredible. It feels like the game is being hand-drawn to life right in front of your eyes as you platform and shoot your way through every level. And speaking of the platforming and the shooting, this game plays very similar to the Mega Man series. You'll have to face platforming challenges like the ground falling away underneath your feet at a moment's notice, or maybe Tetris blocks raining from the sky as you struggle not to get trapped and squished between them. There are so many unique platforming concepts just like this as you play, and it constantly keeps you on your toes. And just like Mega Man, the game does not pull any punches. It's very difficult and will take a lot of trial and error to get through some of the more challenging stages. And obviously the bosses won't go down without a fight. You better learn those attack patterns and learn them fast, or you're gonna find yourself getting very frustrated. And sure, Gunman Clive is pretty similar to Mega Man, but it does a lot to stand out on its own right. Like maybe in one level you have to jump on a panda's back and run desperately away from a giant spinning saw blade of death, or sometimes the game will completely change and you'll think you're playing Space Harrier again, a third-person on-rail shooter, or maybe you'll be on horseback trying to jump over obstacles and shoot the cowboys next to you. Truly worth your $4. I can't stress this enough. If you have a few bucks lying around, you have to try Gunman Clive. Next one is One Strike. When I started looking at the eShop's latest releases to make this video, I saw One Strike had released fairly recently. I grabbed it and enjoyed it, and obviously decided to put it on this list. It wasn't until later that I found out that this wasn't actually the game's first time on the eShop. Apparently it was released back in October, but then it was swiftly pulled down for copyright infringement. The director of the game paid a composer for the music, and both the developer and the publisher were convinced that the track was an original work. Turns out though, that it wasn't. The track was stolen from a Famicom game. And now the game is back on the eShop with all new music, and I say we show the game some support because it had quite a big setback through all of this. And it's a fun game. Let me talk about it. For only $4.99, this is another cheap game worth the price. You have 3 difficulty settings, easy, medium, or hardcore, and trust me, you'll want to start on easy. As the name of the game would suggest, you get hit once, you die. You hit your opponent once, they die. So simple, and yet so freaking intense. There is 7 different fighters to choose from, each of which have different weapons and fighting styles. Believe it or not, with just having a forward dash, back dash, block, and 1 attack button, it still takes quite a while to master each fighting style of the characters. In One Life mode, just like in real life, you only got 1 life.
that is, if that wasn't clear. You can't get hit by any of these fighters, even once, and I'm telling you, that's not easy, even on easy. There is also arcade and team duel mode, as well as tournament mode for up to 8 players, AI, or real people. Again, it's another game that's just so simple in design and gameplay, and yet as soon as you block that first attack and then land the killing strike, you'll watch your opponent fall and then realize, I just want to keep on killing. That was darker than I intended. Roombo First Blood. That's not it. There's no way I could randomly land on it. That would be impressive. Sometimes games just sell themselves, and Roombo First Blood had me interested on its name alone and had me hooked after I played the first level. I mean, look, you play as an overprotective Roomba that can't stand idly by while his house is being broken into. You dash to the kitchen, suck up a knife and equip it to your face and start stabbing, dropping fans and exploding windows onto the would-be criminals, but not before cleaning up his dirty footprints and only after sucking up all the leftover blood that admittedly was partially my fault. You know, since I drew first blood. But hey, to survive a war, you gotta become a war. You know, you could even say, I'm their worst nightmare. This game blends my 2 favorite things, killing bad guys and cleaning up the house. I do enjoy some cleaning. Not only can you clean up all the messes around the house like a good automated cleaning robot, but you can also hack into loads of inanimate objects around the house to keep your abode safe and secure. Just make sure anything you break, you also go ahead and clean up after. Oh, and don't leave your kills rotting on the floor either. Clean that guy up. Once defended, you only have a certain amount of time to clean up as much of the evidence as possible. And there's a lot of replay value here in trying to achieve the highest score possible. At only $5, but also only at about an hour or 2 long, Roombo is well worth the price, but it's a game that's gonna leave you wanting more because it's awesome and worth $5. Recently, I did another one of those really dumb, randomly generated Nintendo Switch game videos where I roll the dice on the Switch eShop library and I have to buy whatever comes up. Usually, it's that crap shovelware, but every now and then, it strikes gold, and that happened when I found Akane, or Akane, or however you pronounce this game. For the criminally low price of $5, I am extremely impressed by everything this game has to offer. The cyberpunk visuals, the fast-paced hack and slash gameplay, even down to the great soundtrack. You strike enemies with a single slash of your katana, or a well-timed shot from your gun that charges while attacking. The bad news is that you die if you're struck even once, making the fast-paced gameplay that much more intense. The controls are super tight and responsive. As you slash away at your enemies, you'll build up a special bar that can be used for a clean slice through a line of enemies, or you can save up the entire special bar and just go crazy and kill everything on the screen. It's extremely satisfying. I shouldn't hold a sword like this. Luckily, this one's fake. Once you hit 100 brutal murders, you'll hit the boss battle. This is equally intense, as the one-hit death rule is still in play, leading to some intense parry-off action until someone slips up. And that's the game. It's short, sweet, and super cool. I really hope they expand on this idea in the future and give us more than just one stage, but as I said, for $5, it's a steal. You know, what I love most about making these videos is stumbling upon a true hidden gem of a game. A game that flies quietly under the radar. It's easy to miss, and even if you do see it at first glance, it might not be what you think it is. And Lofi PingPong is one of those games. It's an aesthetically pleasing rhythm game where every ping and pong is timed with the equally pleasing "it's raining outside my window and my cat sleeping next to me while I study on my laptop" lo-fi vibe style beats. With that premise in place, it once again might be easy to assume that Lofi PingPong would be a chill few minutes of gameplay without much more to offer. And once again, you'd be mistaken. The gameplay is actually brutally difficult, as there's almost no indication of when you need to ping that next pong other than the beat of the music, and the window to pong that ping is pretty tight. This forces you to fully feel the music, to become one with the lo-fi. Then once you find your groove, it'll just be you, the music, ping pong, and ping pong. Yeah, I said ping pong twice because the main character's name is also Ping Pong. Ping pong
I'm getting sick of saying that, has a somewhat dark and sad story that's told throughout the game, which is another pleasant surprise I did not expect from this one. Really surprising considering it's only $5. I love when I can feature a $5 game in one of these videos, and with Islanders, I can do just that. It's a relaxing, minimalistic strategy game about building cities on colorful islands. It's pretty simple. You start with a small randomized island and choose what you want to build first. You have the freedom to put anything wherever you want, but certain buildings or objects will earn you higher points if they're placed close to or far away from other things. For example, houses and mansions will get a bonus for being close together or near the town center. Sawmills will get a bonus for being close to trees, but will also lose points for being too close to another existing sawmill. Once you get enough points, you can either keep building on the island or move on to the next one in your playthrough. It's all procedurally generated, and the goal is to rack up as many points as possible before game over. Then you start again and try to build more and get further next time. It's just so easy to pick up and play with bright visuals and easy controls. It's simple, sure, but it's $5. The devs were even nice enough to reach out to me and send me a code without me asking, but they also sent over an extra one and said it was for Kim if she wanted one too. No one ever does that. So I really appreciated that. It was super nice. I barely ever get to recommend $5 eShop games in these videos. It is insane to me that Vampire Survivors is this cheap. Also, Brotato. I'm kind of smushing these two into one spot, but they are two different games. The reason why I'm doing it is because Brotato is a clone game of Vampire Survivors, but it offers a lot of different mechanics, and I think it stands out on its own. And it's also only $5. Let's start with Vampire Survivors though. Okay, the visuals are basic, the controls minimum, but the enemies are endless and the addictiveness is shot straight into my veins. You play as one of the many vampire characters to choose from, most of which you unlock with gold as you progress. Each one has a unique weapon and ability, so pick the one for your playstyle or level that you're playing on. Then, survive. Your weapon will automatically attack for you. All you have to control is where you move. As you kill things, you pick up gems that will level you up, and each time you level up, you can pick a new weapon or ability or upgrade one of the ones you already have. The waves of enemies will get more and more brutal as time progresses, and just like any good roguelike, the key to getting better is failing and do better next time. Using the money earned on a run to upgrade your stats, get new characters and modifiers, and more. It might seem too simple at first, but the real challenge comes in when needing to attack certain tougher enemies to get an item or upgrade drops, or keeping an eye on pickups around the map and timing out the ideal moment to grab a heal or other game-changing item. I have spent countless nights over the last couple weeks just wanting to play one more game, grinding to unlock a new level, or getting high on the serotonin that is finally getting a perfect run and essentially going God mode on the entire level. And again, Brotato is essentially the same game, but if you were playing as a Mr. Potato Head.
Come on, Potato Head.
The gameplay is actually a twin-stick shooter, so you have complete control over where you shoot, rather than it just being random. Rather than leveling up in real time during a long marathon 30-minute level, here you play through minute-long waves, and at the end you use any points you earn to buy multiple upgrades. The biggest difference I don't like is that you have this flat and limited square play area with physical walls, where in Vampire Survivors you have a never-ending map to explore. But either way, $5 for either of these is a steal. I would go Vampire Survivors first, of course, but if you already love that and want a different take on it, try the Tater Man. Here's the next one, Exit 8. I played it on a Twitch stream and I really enjoyed it for what it was. It's a simple concept. You have this subway walkway and all you need to do is walk through it. It sounds easy, huh? Go on, you do it. You do it. You'll find a lot of things in this hallway, like a man that walks towards you, posters on the wall, doors in the hall, and other objects around. And yeah, everything looks normal. And then you'll leave this exit 1 hallway and head into the exit 2 hallway, which should look identical to the first hallway. And if it doesn't, run back
immediately. The aim of this game is to spot any anomalies on your next walkthrough, and if you do, you need to leave quickly, or else the whole game will reset and you'll be back to exit 1. The goal, obviously, is to get to exit 8 and escape what I can only assume is a terrifying purgatory. It can be as simple as a door handle being too high on the door, or a missing light overhead, or it can be as terrifying as eyes on a poster moving as you walk by, or a demonic face imprinted on the ceiling, or water rushing at you from down the other end of the hallway. It's a very simple concept, but it's very well done, and it's funny how familiar I became with this hallway by the time I beat the game. It also has really nice resolution, textures, and runs at 60 FPS, and it even had a movie made about the game that released earlier this year. And a sequel, not to the movie, to the game, Platform 8, but that doesn't have a Switch 2 version, so don't worry about that. Unless you want to. Speaking of games that have a demo and are also very cheap, and Roger, this one here, you see that guy? It's only $5. That's like less than the price of a cup of coffee, because cups of coffee are way too expensive now. Why is it Starbucks is charging like $6 for a latte? That doesn't make any sense. This game's cheaper than coffee. It's a sort of trippy point-and-click head trip game that aims to mess with your mind and make you feel a little uncomfortable. You play as a young girl who wakes up and begins to realize that nothing around her feels quite right. Your dad isn't actually your dad. He's also talking weird nonsense and just confusing you, making you eat when you're not hungry, and refusing to answer any of your questions. You play the game by interacting with the things on the screen, but so often the screen won't make sense, or the way that you need to play will change unexpectedly. Like this one part where I desperately tried to figure out the combination of buttons I needed to call 911 while my character was trembling in fear, and then at the last second I was caught anyway. This is a short and memorable interactive game with a beautiful and emotional story that you can knock out in about an hour, and it pulls on all of the same strings that the similar 2018 Florence does. And I'm pretty sure I also put that game into one of these videos. I just love little bite-sized experiences like this that leaves a lasting impression, and I'll just be thinking about it for a week.
You're gonna hate me. Maybe. I don't know. Among Us. That's how long it's been since I made one of these. I need to have Among Us in my series of eShop games worth buying because it is. You too, for the low price of $5, can destroy your closest friendships. Even though the online fad of every streamer and content creator ever milking that game for all it's worth has seemingly finally come to an end, that doesn't mean the game isn't still a ton of fun to play with friends during weekend game nights. It even has crossplay between everything, even mobile. So there really isn't any excuse for everyone not to play. And yes, that even includes the weird girl quietly lurking in the corner that your friend Steve brought to the party. Stop being antisocial and come get murdered, Suzanne. If you still haven't given this game a shot because you hate things that are mainstream, it is actually really good, I promise. The psychology between trying to figure out which one of your friends is lying or trying to convince them that you yourself aren't lying is the best part. That's why the visuals and the gameplay doesn't really matter at all. The actual game part of Among Us itself is just a means to an end. It's just the tool that you are using to enjoy the real game being the lies. Oh, unless you have no friends. I mean, because playing online with randos that don't have voice chat just sucks big time, so.
Next up, we have a game called GunHouse, and this game is really unique. I haven't ever seen anything quite like it before. Kind of like how in Fury, the game is a mesh of two styles of gameplay, in GunHouse, you also have two styles. One style is a tower defense game, and the other style is a puzzle matchup game. When a level starts, you'll start on the puzzle matchup side, and you'll try and match up colored blocks to build as big a blocks as possible, and when you've built a block, you can swipe it to the left or to the right. If you swipe it to the left, you'll build a gun or a turret. If you slide it to the right, you'll build an AoE nuke. And depending on the color and the icon on the block will depend on what you actually build. Maybe a boomerang weapon, maybe it'll be an ice weapon that will slow down the enemies, or maybe just a fireball for extreme damage. And then when your time runs up on the puzzle side, the tower defense side kicks in and you start getting bombarded with all these enemies. And that's when you start using the weapons you created. You either tap or select on the guns or the AoEs and try and defend your gun house. It actually gets really addictive, and these two styles of gameplay work together really well. I also really like the art style of this game, the hand-drawn style. All the enemies remind me of enemies from Cuphead. They're all very unique, and there are a ton of different kinds. It's a really fun game, and as I said, I got addicted to it.
A short hike is just that. You hike, climb, and soar your way up the peaceful mountain landscapes of Hawk Peak Park. The beautiful autumn aesthetics are so crisp. The yellows, the oranges, the browns, they all leap straight off my Switch screen and land me smack bang in the middle of a Starbucks, buying my 15th pumpkin spice latte this season already.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. We're gonna get started for you.
Hi, can I get me one of them pumpkin cream cold brews in the largest size you have, please?
Okay, I can do the Venti pumpkin cream cold brew, or I can do a Trenta actually.
That might be too big. How big is that?
30 ounces.
That sounds like a lot. Let's stick with the Venti. Okay, I'm basic, but I'm not 32 ounce basic. That's a lot of coffee. I should have got it. I've had too many of those. This game soothed my soul. From the visuals that initially had a 3DS reminiscent look but grew on me quite quickly, to the lush original soundtrack that progresses dynamically as you explore the mountain, but also the gameplay. You can explore the island any way you like, choosing your own path as you go. You'll meet other hikers, each with their own stories and great dialogue, find hidden treasures like feather upgrades allowing you to fly or climb higher than before. Yeah, and don't expect any heart-racing, blood-pumping, action-packed gameplay here either. This is a game that promises a moment of peace in a world drenched with chaos. It's simply a short story about a bird's hike up a trail that has no cell phone reception. So for only $6.99, put away your own damn cell phone for a couple of hours and just enjoy the tranquility that is a short hike.
And that's the games. I want to give a shout out to West 3DP, who kind of made this possible, kind of gave me the idea, because when I was looking through his spreadsheet, I realized I could sort the games by price, and I was astounded to see how many $5 games I've enjoyed and played, and even myself forgotten about on the eShop over the years. That said, I do really hope you've had a great year, and I appreciate all the memories that we've made together over the last 14 years of this channel. And let me know which of the games you might check out today. I feel like that's the thing I love about this is surely so many people that watch this video grab at least one of these games because they're like $5. All right, love you. Subscribe if you haven't already.